So right here we are looking at the arteries. This one right here is going to be the common carotid artery. It splits off into the external carotid artery and the internal carotid artery. All the yellow is going to be nerves. This right here is the superior thyroid. This artery right over here that's coming just right under the mandible is going to be the facial artery. This artery right here is going to be the superficial temporal artery. And this artery right back here is going to be the occipital artery going to the occipital bone. And obviously superficial temporal artery because it's going around where the temporal bone is going to be. This artery that's tucked in the back right here, it's going through the transverse foramen of the cervical vertebra, is going to be known as the vertebral artery. Okay? Notice, by the way, that all of these branches I talked about before, the occipital artery, the superficial temporal artery, the facial artery, and the superior thyroid are all branches off of the external carotid artery. So that's going to the muscles and to the integument of the head and the face. The internal carotid artery, which we're going to find right here, comes through to the inside of the skull. It's going to supply the brain. The internal carotid artery would come right through here. This branch right here is going to be the middle cerebral artery. This branch here and this branch here is going to be the anterior cerebral artery. This right here is going to be the anterior communicating artery. So again, middle cerebral, anterior cerebral, anterior communicating, and this are the posterior cerebral arteries. So anterior cerebral, middle cerebral, posterior cerebral. Anterior communicating, and the one that connects the middle cerebral to the posterior cerebral is going to be the posterior communicating. In terms of the sinuses, we have the superior sagittal sinus here. We have the transverse sinus, also the transverse sinus on the inside. Connection point is going to be the confluence of sinuses. The connection between the superior sagittal and the transverse sinus is going to be the confluence of sinuses. And then this right here is going to be the sigmoid sinus. That is all leading to the internal jugular vein, which we find would be right in there, which goes through the jugular foramen.